Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. And here with me today, I have a player I'd like you guys to meet. This here is Jordan Mahoney. He is a cornerback out of Arkansas State. Nice to have you today, sir.
Nice to be here.
So, hey man, Arkansas State finished really well this season. Y'all just got finished, closing things out with a solid bowl game win. And so figured, hey, want to get a chance to meet this guy who's had a solid season. So, Jordan, go ahead and introduce yourself and let's get going.
I'm Jordan Mahoney, cornerback from Arkansas State, and yeah, ready, ready to
Cool.
go.
So, in my notes, I have from South Carolina, the Rock Hill area, and attended South Point High School.
Yes, sir.
Um, and so, Jordan, I want to take it back even further, if at all possible. How long have you played football?
I started playing football in first grade, so probably like 5, 6 years old. You know, me and my older brother, we started playing around the same time. Our dad put us into it, and ain't never stopped playing after that.
Gotcha. So, I'm assuming, like a lot of kids growing up, probably played multiple positions, probably played
hmm
offense and defense. Um, Give me, I don't know, maybe like your fondest memory growing up, specifically at South Point High School, playing ball there.
I would say having a chance to see like a lot of because like South Point, we put a lot of guys in school, and like a lot of guys out of South Point like plays in the NFL. So having the opportunity to see all of those guys come in and leave out the way that they did, I feel like that was like that really paved the route for all the younger guys like myself.
So, talk up a couple of those guys, man. I mean, we need to name drop some people from South Point.
Like as far as the ones that was in high school when I was there, like Darion Kendrick, uh, Nick McLeod, my older brother Jaylen Mahoney. Stephen Gilmore, he's the younger brother of Stephon Gilmore. Uh, and like the older guys like Stephon Gilmore and Davion Clowney.
Gotcha. I mean, a lot of talent, obviously, that you played with back in the day. So obviously, a whole ton of recruiters coming out your way. I was trying my best to look up some of the recruiting for you coming out of high school,
hmm
and obviously ended up choosing UMass. Could have potentially gone to Akron, but obviously, man, chose to end up going to UMass. So, talk to me about what I guess led you to make the decision to go UMass, and we'll go from there.
I was very under recruited coming out of high school due to my size and because of COVID. Like yeah, Art Akron was my first offer, but they wasn't communicating with me. And then UMass came along like later on that season, and like they was communicating with me. They was talking to me every day. So I feel like that was just a clear decision to make.
Yeah,
Going
and
to
I mean, obviously, Jordan, you're part of this class that had to deal with the pandemic, which
hmm
sucks. Of course, the whole recruiting is kind of it's just off. It's not
Yeah.
like it used to be where like, some of the meetings are you like you're not even visiting, like you're doing stuff like this, like over Zoom or something. Like people are
hmm
like, don't come here, like it's definitely a wild thing. But hey, obviously UMass really wanted you, so they pursued you hard, and so you had a chance to go there. So talk briefly about your experience there, man.
Being at UMass, I feel like being at UMass really had a big part of shaping me into the man that I am today. Going super far away from home, learning how to be on my own, learning like, mom and dad can't come up every weekend to like check on me. Like I gotta deal with a lot of things by myself. So I feel like that really like helped me be the man that I am today and like really mature me.
Yeah, I mean, a bit of a culture clash, maybe. A kid
Yeah,
growing up in South Carolina goes up to Massachusetts.
yeah, right.
That had to be challenging. But I know. you obviously got yourself comfortable there. Um, Talk through some of the people who, I guess, maybe helped you along the way to get you eased into the culture there.
So when I first got up there, because I enrolled early, so I enrolled January of 2021. So when I first got up there, it was probably one other high school guy that was there that enrolled early with me. So meeting him, Javon Batten, meeting him very early and like building a relationship with him super early, like kind of helped me like get comfortable up on the campus. And like on top of that, it was during COVID, so everybody had their own room. And Josh Wallace, he actually plays for the Rams now. He was my neighbor, and like he was an older guy. He took me under his wing. He showed me the ropes, and he just helped me figure out a lot of things being up at UMass because he was also pretty far from home too.
Well, hey, you obviously got yourself situated there, and eventually, of course, played a few seasons there, and ended up hitting the transfer portal, coming to Arkansas State. So, walk me through maybe like the mental process of like entering the portal, and then ultimately why you chose Arkansas State.
Entering the portal, it was kind of, it was kind of one foot in, one foot out because I'm more of a, maybe the grass isn't green always on the other side. So that was like pretty going through my head a lot while like before I entered the transfer portal. But then, I'm talking to family and talking to my support system. Sometimes you got to bet on yourself. So that led me to enter the transfer portal. And I think the first day Arkansas State offered me Jay Simpson. He recruited me and like they was really, really adamant on me and like it was stressing hard to get me on a visit. So I went down on a visit and like they just the whole shebang, man. They sent me through the whole like everything was just great out there and I just fell in love with it immediately. So like it was a pretty easy decision to make to go to Arkansas State.
Yeah, I mean, and if we're being real, again, no disrespect to UMass, but Arkansas State has been a very competitive program over the past, several years, and tends to always put guys in the league. A lot of great coaches in there too. So, I mean, putting you in a good position really to move forward and be a professional at the next level.
Hmm.
So, let's focus on you as a player. So, obviously, growing up in South Carolina, maybe perhaps there were some guys who you were a big fan of. And so, just kind of picking your brain a little bit, like from South Carolina, was there a team or maybe like a person who plays your position who you looked up to?
That's from South Carolina or just like
Just
period.
in general, like at the pros.
Uh, like growing up, cause like my parents are real old school, so like I was always a fan of the Red Reeves and the Deion Sanders, So growing up and watching a lot of tape on them guys, like those two are obviously my favorite like corners to ever play, you know.
And so, I mean, how would you then, I guess, I don't know if you would define yourself, or obviously, dude, every single cornerback wants to be involved in that conversation as to some of the
Right.
greats. But I mean, how would you define yourself as a player, as a prospect? What do you feel is like maybe like your best attributes as a player?
I feel like as a corner, like you gotta have you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Amnesia. Things happen, and things might not always go your way. So you just gotta have a quick change of mind. You can't let the last play determine the next play that you have. So I feel like I'm very level headed. I'm a very level headed guy, and I'm very level headed on the field as well. So I feel like that plays a role, and like that helps me like be able to take adversity and put it in my pocket and use it as a what's the word I'm looking for?
I mean, you use it as a
Advantage.
chip on your shoulder,
Yeah, like
like you try and use that sort of stuff to your advantage.
yeah.
Um, I think it's interesting when you say, "Hey, man, like you gotta forget the last play and just sort of move on. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously this game can be a very emotional game. So like if something bad does happen, which if we're being real, you can't make all of the plays.
right,
You have to be able to refocus and to continue throughout the game because I mean, obviously your teammates are dependent upon you.
right.
Um, cool. So, uh, obviously, really what we're talking about again, as maybe one of your better attributes is really just the overall mentality of the position.
Hmm.
And then I do feel like there's a few other things that we can maybe chat about as well. I mean, we are looking at a guy who does have some versatility to his game, has lined up in the nickelback position occasionally, and can offer at can also add some stuff on special teams too. So,
Yeah.
talk a little bit about that versatility that you can add to a team.
I feel like I'm like, yeah, like you said, like I'm very versatile. Like I played pretty much all of those positions like within my time playing football. And like I just feel like I'm a tough guy, you know? Like
Yeah,
I'm very tough. I know all the techniques in all of those positions. So like I feel like the transition wouldn't be hard for me at all. So like if a team was to be like, okay, we got enough nickels, we got enough corners, but could you play safety? Yes, of course I could, you know?
I mean, I definitely know from looking at you and watching you play. I mean, certainly have the toughness to go out there and play whatever team asks you to do. Some of the numbers that came up that I felt were noteworthy for a corner, which you really don't see too often, is guys that can be really effective run defenders.
Hmm.
Guys that can get in there and get the tackles done. um, Talk about that mentality because I think that that's lost on corners all the time.
Yeah.
People are like, "This guy can't tackle." Can you talk more about that?
Well, so playing even at UMass, like even all the way at UMass, like playing in those like the defensive structure that we played in, like it needed the corners to tackle. So like I'm not afraid of anyone. Like everybody put their pants on the same way. Everybody bleed like I bleed. So I feel like, you know, why would I be afraid to tackle another grown man? You know what I'm saying? So it's like I've never been afraid to, it don't matter how big you are. Cause like even going into school, like I was very undersized. So like there's always a point to prove on my end. Like, yeah, you may be bigger than me, but you gotta show me that tougher than me.
So, you had mentioned your size a couple times. I do want to just kind of throw this out there for people. What is your current height and weight?
I am 6 foot and 185 right now.
So 6 foot 185. I mean, that's certainly efficient for
Yeah,
really nearly any position there in the secondary. Uh, Not too short, little lean, but not something you can't fix.
right.
So it all works out for you. Um, Jordan, the other thing that I kind of want to chit chat about is not to take the focus off of you so much, but I mean, obviously, you got a brother who's also played this game in
Hmm.
Jaylen. And I'm just kind of curious, how has he, I don't know, influenced you throughout your journey? Like, have you guys, I don't know, learned from one another? Can you talk about that bond that you guys got?
Actually, my older brother is who is the person who like made me fall in love with football, if that makes sense. You know? So like when I was about 5, 6 years old, like when I initially started playing football, I didn't really like playing football too much, like when I was younger. So it was a time where like every time I get tackled, I want to stop playing. Every time I made a tackle, I want to stop playing. But then like, cause all in my mind, it was like this John hurt. Like I don't like being hurt. But it was a time where my dad made me and my brother go outside in the front yard, old school, heads up, and he just made us go out there and tackle each other for a good hour. And after that, it was like, all right, there ain't nothing to be scared of, nah, you know. So I'll say that like he played a big role there why I love the game. And then watching him do everything that he accomplish everything that he accomplished, just put a little bit more drive in me too. So,
Well, hey, just wanted to obviously give you a chance to, give a little bit of love back to him. I mean, obviously, he's been a big part about of you and your journey, helping you really love the game for what it is. But I know that there's other people too that we really, need to give shout outs to. So, um, but let's focus on some of your teammates. And so let's go back to UMass. Look at your time at UMass. Who are some of the dudes at UMass who were just, I don't know, maybe the most impressive guys for you while you were there?
like I mentioned before, Josh Wallace, D lineman Billy Wooden, um, linebacker Jaylen Mackey, he was there my sophomore year. Tyler Rudolph for safety, Teray Powell, another safety. Isaiah Rutherford, he played on the other side of me my junior year. Jeremiah McGill, the young guy coming up. Uh, Darion Craig, another young guy. They all balling up there. Jaquan Gibson, receiver. He's from around my way. He came up there balling. Very impressive. Mm,
Gotcha. I just wanted to
yeah,
get a couple of them guys from you. I mean, don't want to make you think too hard. And for anybody who we forgot,
yeah,
apologize, man. I mean, a lot of guys there, obviously, who you were, you know, obviously grinding with while you
yeah,
were there at UMass, but uh, focusing our efforts now on Arkansas State. A lot of guys there, man. And
yeah, man.
again, you guys put together a very solid season. Went 8-5, won your bowl game against Bowling Green. Um, let's talk. I do want to get to that, game and that overall season. But who are some of the up and coming guys at Arkansas State who you can see, really making an impact moving forward?
Oh, obviously Jalen Raynor, the quarterback. Corey Rucker, mm, Hunter Summers. Because we had a lot of seniors that left. We got some young corners, Josh Stone, Diary Hood, Kyle Williams, Braden Jackson. All those guys, you feel me, they finna come up. Who else? Who else? Jimmy Reed. It's a lot of guys out of Arkansas
Gotcha.
State.
Gotcha. Well, I do want to talk about a couple of moments from this season, if you don't mind. I was looking back at your interception against
Mhm.
Troy, which was a fun moment. You guys were, doing well. You started off the game very well, and you ended up with that interception. Can you walk me through that moment?
Well, actually, it all started the week before when we played Southern Miss. I dropped one. I dropped that was supposed to be my first interception. I dropped my interception the week before. So like the whole team been on my tail about it. You always won, you always won, all that. And like I was telling them I'm a grab one this week, like I'm a grab one. So like that was already manifested from after the Southern Miss game. So like going into the game and that moment being able to happen like very early in the game, like it was just really exciting because like we all talked about this. We talked it up.
Yeah, and again, I just kind of put in my notes because I ended up, watching the highlights of that one. Quarterback puts it up in the air. You're one on one with the guy. It's either he comes down with the touchdown, or you get it.
All
And
right.
so when the ball is up in the air, it's always nice having the mentality of a receiver,
Mm-hmm.
where that ball's in the air. It's just as much yours as it is the other guys, and
All right.
um, you just so happen to snatch that one from him.
Yeah.
So obviously ended that one well. And then I do want to just talk about the last game you played there versus Bowling Green. Obviously ended up with the W there. Walk me through that game, man.
Going into that game, like they got the tight end who was chasing the record, Travis Kelsey record. So like that was all the coaches was talking about. Like that's what all the media was talking about. Like they like all the scouts here to see him, you know. So like in my mind, I'm thinking like, all right, he got all these scouts out here. Now it's my time to make a name for myself. Why he got him out here, make them remember me, you know. So like that was pretty much the mindset going into that game. And like if you ask me, I did what I had to do. Like I had a solid game. Like really show people what I can do for real.
Yeah, and again, ultimately, you guys ended up with the victory and
Hmm.
closed things out well for Arkansas State this year. So, um, pretty solid career if we're looking back on everything. Again, with two separate programs, and now Jordan, we're looking at you as an NFL prospect. So, uh, with all of that obviously behind us, do want to take a moment to meet the guy under the helmet. So tell me about you, anything that you want people to know about you, whether it be a fun fact, an interesting little tidbit, other interests, any special talents or something. Talk to me about you.
Well, ever since I was in seventh grade, my mom kept children. Like she ran a daycare like within our household. So like I always been around kids. So like I love kids. I like being around them, no matter the age. You know, being at UMass, we had a lot of times where some of the guys would go over to the high school, go over to the middle school, go over to the elementary school. I love enjoying it. I love enjoying getting around kids and reading to children. Things like that. Even at Arkansas State, we would go to high schools, elementary schools, just being around the kids, you know. And that's one of the things that I enjoy. I like being around my family. Like, they my support system. You know, I just like doing family oriented things.
Cool. Jordan, again, part of two separate institutions, and so I'm assuming somewhere along the line you got at least one degree under your belt. What'd you close up your time with, or what will you be finishing up with academically?
Psychology degree.
Psychology.
Yes,
Interesting.
sir.
At the very least, maybe perhaps we can use that for you as a corner when you're out there getting into the mind of your
Right.
opponent. I don't know if that's how you're looking at that sort of thing, but
Right.
that's fun. Do you want to maybe throw some other questions your way? Just kind of, I don't know, play along and have some fun. Um, so Jordan, just hopefully just a quick question answer period right now.
Mm.
Um, favorite breakfast cereal,
Frosted Flakes.
Frosted Flakes. Favorite sandwich,
Sandwich.
favorite sandwich.
Italian subs.
Italian subs. Okay. Growing up as a little kid, I mean, obviously part of a big family. And so you guys probably fighting over a remote. You're a little kid, you're trying to fight over the remote for maybe your favorite cartoon or favorite show on TV. You're like 6, 7 years old. What
Mm.
is that going to be for you, man? What are you watching as a kid?
Kids next door.
Kids next door. Okay. Um, Obviously, shifting gears a little bit. Let's say, obviously, from the South Carolina area. Talk a little bit about your hometown, man. Like, if I was to come visit, like, is there some place there that maybe we would go, or something that we would do in your area, or what?
Well, there's not too many things to do, and my city is kind of a small town, but we are like 20 minutes south of Charlotte. So like you got Carowinds, which is an amusement park, like right on the border. It's a lot of things to do up in Charlotte. That's really where a lot of people 18 and up really go for it when they want to do something fun. But like we have a skating rink, all the casual things, movie theater, bowling alley, you know, and like a plethora of food spots around here.
Gotcha. Trying to see if I can come up with a couple more questions, and then we'll wrap things up. So, um, favorite superhero?
Batman.
Batman. Okay. Um, Definitely interesting. The Dark Knight sort of Batman, or
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
So would you
Dark
say
Knight.
that's one of your favorite I guess movies, or is there maybe another one that you claim as one of your favorites?
Nah, Dark Knight would probably be one of my favorites.
Gotcha. And let me see if there's anything else here. Um, I know you traveled from South Carolina to Massachusetts, which is a far place for you. But where would perhaps be that like I don't know dream spot that you would like to visit? You have like a bucket list of a vacation spot that you want to hit up at some point in your life.
Mm, I ain't never been out to California before. I wouldn't want to live out there though, but I would want to visit.
Well, I don't know. Things might be different if you end up, getting an opportunity with a team like San
Yeah, of
Francisco or
course, of course.
LA, of course.
Yeah, of
Uh,
course, of course.
so, hey, it is certainly possible. So, I mean, let's not say it isn't going to happen because
You're
it
right, right, right.
certainly might. Um, but Jordan, I know you and I are talking as a guy, obviously, who's trying to get to the league, and so you're trying to go out there and press some scouts and get your name out there more. So as we close up shop, talk directly to all those doubters, all those scouts out there, and tell them why you would make a great addition to their team. Go for it.
I'll make a great addition to the team. I'm a very level-headed guy. I'm easygoing. I'm easy to talk to, like around like other players. I'm a high character guy. I'm a work hard. I got a high work motor. I'm very coachable. You know, like and you're gonna get that dog. Like you're gonna get a dog out of me. Like you're gonna get my best foot forward every time, every play.
Yeah, again, part of two separate institutions, really shined, as you closed up your opportunity collegiately, did a very fantastic job there at Arkansas State, offering some versatility as to a guy who can play multiple positions there in the secondary, very gritty, tough-nosed player, and yeah, somebody who can be a great addition. So, Jordan, want to wish you all the best moving forward. Okay.
All right, appreciate you.
Sure, man. Once again, I got with me Jordan Mahoney, cornerback at Arkansas State. Check him out.
Yes, sir.